It's Tornado Boy 200 Gamer here, and today is another episode of Throwback Thursday, and this episode will be about the Leitchfield, Kentucky tornado from May 23rd, 2000. As y'all know, last week's Throwback Thursday was Super Street Fighter 2, and I hope y'all enjoyed that episode. But this episode is about the Leitchfield, Kentucky tornado. I will tell you guys this. If we do not get all of it in this episode, we'll have it in the next episode, and a part 2 of episode of the Leitchfield, Kentucky tornado. We'll try our best to get everything in this episode, but if we don't, we'll have to split it up in different episodes each week. So, in this video, you're going to see this truck driver. He was sitting outside where my dad and my papa worked at the time, because they witnessed this tornado with their own eyes at the time, before I was even born. The truck driver was sitting in his truck, and then when the tornado came over, it flipped just moments after he turned the camera off. The tornado came over and flipped the semi on top of another car. And then when he turned the camera back on, he had to end up going to the hospital and stuff. And yeah, let's just say that scene wasn't that pleasant. And yeah. And then you have the news recordings from that time. The news recordings. So, enough with the chit-chat. Let's get into the video. Alright guys, here we go. Here's the truck driver part. Hopefully you guys can hear him talking.
You know what? I hear something off on them sound like you just made. Over there to the, I guess, straight ahead of you, there's a noise like you made just a minute ago coming from over that direction, a few miles off. Yeah, like what you just said, tornado sign or something. I know, I'm sitting there videotaping all this, wondering where a truck driver could go just in case. I know this Freightliner's a good and sturdy truck, but hell. Sam, I think that is a tornado. There's a siren over there. Going off right now. Look here ahead of us. Just all around, man. It's just getting ugly. I think that is a tornado over here behind Campbell. Where's Campbell at? Over in this industrial park? That's gotta be what that is. You mean right there, just what? Right here where it's all dark and all that? Yeah, that's a funnel cloud there, boy. It's getting darker and darker. Like I was saying a while ago, I seen that shit happen down there in Tulsa. It starts out with this yellowish looking shit, and the next thing you know. Oh, it's down that way. You gotta protect me, Scotty. Sam, look at it, guys, right there. Look at it. There's a tornado turning forward. That's what it is there.
I'll zoom in so you can get a better view of the tornado when it forms. There it is.
this shit. I'll be damned. Well, I got it is trying to form right there. I ain't never heard nothing like that sound. Please. There it goes. There it some bitch goes. Alright. I'm sitting over here. There's the truck. Yeah, I told him, he can't believe it. Look at that shit, it can still kick up another one. They might kick up another. Look at that. Trying to find a telephone. I'm shook up. Hurting in my neck and my back right now. Oh, that slammed me hard. That's what she looks like. Look there. Man, if I go to the hospital, you take care of my shit. Make sure that I get all my stuff and all that. And I was sitting in this truck when that happened.
Okay, you okay then?
No, not really. I'm hurting in my neck and my back real bad.
Responder, I just need to make sure everybody's okay. That's fine.
I'm gonna be all right. I'll be all right. Call Felix. I can't even call him.
Do you have? Can you call the 1-800 number on this?
Yeah.
You dial it and what?
Dial it. Hold on. Let me get it. I'll get it.
Might not concern. You might concern.
I just called Felix a minute ago, but yeah. Around a little bit.
Hell, I can't work this thing, Scott.
I told you just a minute ago that's what this says. They try to call him later. He's freaking out on it.
He said it.
He has me there. Are you loaded? Yeah.
God.
That's mine. Yeah, I was. They picked this whole damn truck out from over. I was sitting up there. Well, see that dry spot that over there? I was sitting over there where it started out. I was sitting way up over there, and they just lifted it up. I was out there trying to videotape. I got the thing when it was trying to form. Man, look at this shit.
That truck is holding out.
Oh yeah, that truck's gone. Shit, that son of a bitch is gone. That's a nice truck too.
You want me to try to call Felix?
Yeah, I'm so damn shaky.
What do you push?
Hang on. I don't think we got
Stand
service. I was. Anyway, that shit could form again and come back. I got it on here a little bit.
Watch, the sky just turns blue instantly.
First took off, I knew it had to be when it. But anyways, this is pretty much what she looks like now. So a good truck. I'm starting to get my feelings back. Not feeling too damn good. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. Oh shit, man.
This guy's making me sick.
Truck here. Whatever you.
Oh, there's my papa's car. Right there.
Somebody used to own that truck. Pretty good tire right there.
That was my Pavel's car sitting next to that truck.
Well, I guess Chevrolet makes a good truck, don't they? Yeah, it's a bit just squatted in the ass end. There comes the rescue crew now. I'll probably be going to the hospital here just shortly. So I better try to get as much more of this as I can. I hope they don't take what little few possessions I got. I'm gonna have to get in there and get my damn briefcase out. There's your local authorities. Yes, sir. There's our new trailer and our good truck all screwed up.
You were the driver, weren't you?
Yes,
You all right?
I'm hurting, ma'am.
Do we need to get an ambulance here?
I'll be alright. I'll be alright. Just... Just check. I need to... You know if anybody else is hurt? Well, today. Well, I ain't going to California today.
On that one, fly one, and somebody said, you better get out of here. Hell. You ain't going nowhere. We'll
Yeah.
pack you into a hospital.
I don't want to be back in no hospital. I just want to...
I said that once before. Pack my ass in there anyway.
I don't want to do none of this shit.
And then
Really got to. Huh? Damn. Anyway, where that trailer is, where this trailer here is, and this trailer here, just in this door right here and loaded in number 8, between these two trailers here, and just pulled out, pulled over here. That's the guard shack here. Went down here. Went down here and I parked the truck right here. I was sitting, well, you can see where the path come through here. It's big. You seen when it took off and all that, but anyway, I was sitting, well, you can see where the slide mark says on the ground, where it started sliding the truck and lifted it up. The truck went through there, went all the way over there and slammed down with me in it. Anyway, I'd say the front of the tractor where I was sitting at, I believe, was right in this area, right in here somewhere. Right there it was. It made a real funny sound too, like a, I don't know, like a bunch of water or something, like a waterfall. Never heard anything like that. Never been that close to it. Anyway, you seen where it started forming, and by the time I could roll that window up and put this camera down, it hit me. Walking around right now, I'm in a lot of pain. Feel kind of dizzy, sick at my stomach. Bad headache. Back's really hurting. My left leg is really hurting. Bad headache. We just got that trailer Just got that. Just had that mount put on it just last night. Hope I don't pass out. If I do, there's plenty of rescue people around here. I'm understanding there's I don't know, somebody said something about hundreds of people hurt, and I'm sure there's liable to be some people dead. Is that house over there? Water and gas people, they're shutting off all the gas around here. Feel really lightheaded. Probably shouldn't be walking around right now, but I got to. If I sit still, I start hurting really bad. Come right to them people's house. Just right there is where it come across. Come across that roof.
Leitchfield parking lot is where they're set up. Now, right down below us, it might be hard for Jay to pan down here. There is a major road that is right below the helicopter now, and the traffic, there are hundreds of cars that are on this road that are probably creating problems.
Channel WLKY 32 out of Louisville.
Probably people out here rubbernecking, perhaps people that are trying to get home to see if their homes are okay after work. But in the general area where the major damage is, perhaps the police have this area quartered off, and they're not letting people get into it. So that perhaps is why you are not seeing. Now, right down there in the middle of your screen, you see that there is the traffic, and this is just about a half a mile to the west of the area where most of the damage is. And as we come around, I can see where police have this area going into where the damage is. They have barricades up, they have orange cones, and they have a police officer there that's blocking off the area. But as we fly around this whole area here, there's people that are trying to get into it for whatever reason, but the whole area, from our vantage point, appears to be sealed off, and that's why that you're not seeing like that in the immediate area.
Bill, you've seen tornadoes before, Bullitt County in particular, 74 here in our own backyard. How would you rate this damage? How does that stack up?
I would rate this one as major. If there had been more residential area, more homes in this immediate area where this industrial park is, I think we would have some major damage. We're going to fly down, if you stay with us for just a minute, we're going to go down here to the east of where this industrial park is, and we're going to give you a shot of these homes that we were just talking about, that they just flattened this one house, the other house, it just took the second floor right off of the house, so it did not, the winds just came through here. Now let me get my bearing here. Okay, there's that is another furniture plant. Jay, if you'll come back to our right, you stay with us just for 1 minute. We're going to show you these homes here that are just flattened, and this is just east of the industrial park, right in here. Up there in the top, right there in the center of your screen, that house is just flattened. So if there were more homes in this area, we would have major damage. So if I were going to relate this to the Brooks area, this tornado was much more powerful. Look at the damage there. There's just nothing left. Just to the right of this house here, there's a house that just the first floor stand. The second floor was totally blown off of this home. So right there on your screen there, that house, it appears the first floor is there, but the second floor is totally removed. So the wind and the strength of this tornado was very strong, and if there had been more homes in this area, I think the devastation would have been catastrophic.
You're certainly right, Bill. We just got word from the Kentucky State Police also that they do not want people in that area. They're trying to keep the roads clear so the emergency vehicles can get through. So please stay off the roads in that area unless you have business there.
Well, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, and that certainly is true. Andy Alcock is also down in Leitchfield. He joins us by the phone. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Rick. How you doing? I'm in the Kuiper subdivision, and there's some damage here. It doesn't sound as bad as what Bill was talking about. There's certainly trees all over the place. Some snapped like twigs here. There's some that have been uprooted right from the ground. Certainly there are plenty of roofs that have been damaged here, but in large part, I think a lot of these folks are feeling fairly lucky because nobody that we've talked to, at least in the immediate area, has been hurt or seriously injured or killed or whatever. There is sort of a cleanup effort going on, but actually a lot of people are just sort of walking around with dazed looks on their face, surveying the damage here in the area. We spoke to one lady who says she simply can't live in her home. The roof was ripped off the top of it. A lot of damage on the inside. She said she hid in the bathtub for the entire length of the storm and heard the home exploding with the roof and windows and so forth. And I'm just looking at her right now, and she's just sitting out in her driveway with a sort of blank expression on her face, and she really doesn't know what she's going to do next. And I guess a lot of the folks here feel the same way. He also spoke about the situation with the roads. It was very difficult for us to get here. Traffic is very heavy in the Leitchfield area. This Kuiper subdivision is north of the downtown area, and when we managed to get off the Western Kentucky Parkway, it was probably a good half hour to 45 minutes for us to get here. So there are a lot of people out, and it is making it much more difficult for some of the emergency vehicles to get around. There are also power lines down here in the area, so it does have the potential to still be dangerous even though the storm has passed. Back to the studio.
We're looking at pictures now of the Kuiper subdivision, and behind it, that subdivision, that may be off of Lilac Road. And look how far the damage is scattered out.
Yeah, which is an indication of extremely strong winds with something like that.
What worries me, we're hearing minor injuries, but when you've got that much damage and perhaps some people they haven't heard from yet, it makes
Wave
you
three.
wonder.
And we've been getting a lot of phone calls in here. People want to know the exact portions of the city that it hit because they do have relatives down there. They can't get through, but this is on the north side of town, is
Right,
that correct?
that's right. And near the fairgrounds area, so if you're familiar with Leitchfield, near the fairgrounds, the industrial park, and specifically that Kuiper, K-I-P-E-R subdivision.
Okay. I want to go back to digital Doppler radar. Okay, well, there's area 3 again as we continue to get out. The home's a little further separated. You see, one home is fine, and there's another one basically totally destroyed there. I'm trying to study this because, I don't know how large that home was, Jackie, but when you lose your walls like that, those exterior walls, that's a sign of an F3 tornado. Again, I don't know. You see a couple of the walls standing there, the rest of the home destroyed. We could be talking 200-mile-per-hour winds possibly with that. Yeah, just huge trees, just flat. And you notice the trees are in different directions. That's a sign of the swirling winds there. It's not the straight line winds. You can see those two trees were in different directions there and just snapped off. Man, this is just horrible. And what is our latest injury count that we have officially?
John, what we have officially, again, you realize how much damage there is. Initially, 20 to 30 people taken to the hospital there. It's the Twin Lakes Regional Medical Center, broken bones, cuts, but it could be tough to even know who's hurt out there at this point.
Okay, and then for the people just tuning in, I want to show you a map of the path of this tornado again. This touched down in Grayson County and went across the Leitchfield area down toward Grayson Springs and was still on the ground in the Price.
A couple of days, Jay jumped in here today, and he's doing a phenomenal job. Look at this shot you're looking at right here. We're right down into the damaged roof. There's semis there, twisted steel. Just, this business from our vantage point looks like a total loss. So the damage here in Leitchfield is in some areas is devastating. In other areas, the damage is not quite so bad. But any damage is got to be bad for the people that had to suffer through this apparent tornado.
It certainly is. Thank you, Bill DeRinger. We're going to go to Jay Cardosi standing by now. Jay, you said there's no question about it. It's definitely a tornado.
It was
there.
definitely a tornado. As a matter of fact, Viper First Strike Alert picked up this tornado 15 minutes ahead of time before the warning was even issued. It first developed in western Breckinridge County, moved off to the south, and actually some of those shots we're looking at from News Chopper 32 kind of resemble Bullitt County back in 1996, which was an F3, F4 tornado, winds upwards of 200 miles an hour, so some extreme damage there. Let's start off by these storms are not...
Serious tornado damage south of Louisville in Leitchfield, Kentucky. 3 twisters moved through the area this afternoon. The latest reports on injuries as people in this Grayson County town prepare for a long night.
I'm still taking caution tonight.
3 tornadoes have reported by police to have touched down in the town of Leitchfield, Kentucky, Grayson County.
WHS 11.
Approximately about an hour and a half just southwest of Louisville. Now, at last word, 13 people being treated by the local hospital there for cuts, abrasions, and minor injuries. And we have team coverage tonight as, first off, we join George Sells, who's been in the helicopter looking at the damage shortly before 5 o'clock tonight. George?
Good evening, Doug. The reports were those 3 funnel clouds merging into one. That appears to be consistent from the damage that we can see here. You're looking at an industrial park right north of Leitchfield, just to the north of Leitchfield, Kentucky, off of U.S. Highway 62, not far from there. What it appears happened is this tornado came in from the west, moved across the northern part of Leitchfield. It cut about a 5-mile path, it appears. Some of the most serious damage came to that industrial park. Then as it moved east, it also hit a lumber yard. It did some significant damage there, then moved into one of 2 neighborhoods. One on the east side of Leitchfield is where it finished up. That's what you're looking at now. It began in one on the west side. The one on the west side, we were told about 12 homes damaged. Here and on the east side of town, what you're looking at now, again off of U.S. Highway 62 on the northeast side of Leitchfield. By our count here from the air, at least 9 homes completely destroyed in this area right here. It appears after this, the storm then moved on to the east, cut through some trees, hopped the Western Kentucky Parkway, and then apparently lifted up off the ground from there. The good news at this point, as you reported, the 13 injuries at the hospital, only reports of cuts and bruises, some lacerations, and that sort of thing. As you look at some of the more serious damage as we pan back in that direction, as always, it is amazing to look and see that nobody wasn't more seriously injured by this storm. Once again, though, we can tell you about at least 25 homes are damaged, about 12 businesses in the industrial park, as well as a lumber yard that it looks to be just about totaled here in Leitchfield. Reporting live from Sky 11, George Sells, WHAS 11 News.
All right, George, thanks a lot. Hold your picture there because we're going to bring on the line now Trooper Eddie Lair. He's with Kentucky State Police in Elizabethtown. Trooper Lair, are you there?
Yes.
You know, Eddie, when we take a look at these pictures, it's almost hard to believe that nobody was killed in this storm. Have you all been able to confirm that there are no fatalities yet, and what are you doing at this hour, or the local police, to try to confirm that?
Well, of course, naturally they're going into these areas where the damage is, and they're talking to people, and they're trying to confirm everybody, search these areas and so on. But yes, you're right. At the present time, we do not have any confirmed fatalities. We've only had about a dozen or less injuries reported, broken leg being the worst, and most of these came out of one of these factories. We'll have to commend these factories, my understanding. They did have some sort of evacuation plans that were utilized and probably saved a lot of injuries.
Can you name the factories involved here? I mean, we've heard so many names, some of them well known.
Right. A lot of the names we've got so far, one is OFS, that's just the 3 letters. Skyline is one of the factories. Liggett Platt, Miller Hart, Mid-Park Metal, Bailey Lumber Company, Burkhead Trucking were just some of the ones, companies and things we were talking about.
Which business suffered the most damage? You said injuries. Where did those injuries come from?
I really don't know. It's one of the bigger factories. There were 2 factories that were over 3/4 destroyed, my understanding. So
this storm moved on. Is Elizabethtown or any other areas around Leitchfield now having any other troubles that you're focusing on now?
No. We did not have any other sightings or any other touchdowns as I know of on tornadoes. But we did have some very severe thunderstorms move through here, about 4:10. They moved on. A lot of them went to the southeast. Here just about 30 minutes ago, we were being reported some severe storms in LaRue County. But to my understanding, they've all moved out of our post area. We haven't received any calls that I'm aware of, any other damage or anything like that, or injuries.
All right, Trooper Laird, thank you very much for that update. We appreciate it. Again, the injury.
The U.S. Highway 62 area of a lumber yard there. And it doesn't look like much of anything at this point. It's hard to say what it is, or should I say what it was. Back to you.
Yeah, George, you can see in some of the pictures there from Sky 11 that the traffic is creeping along. Obviously, some sightseers coming along. Have you been told by any of the authorities there or heard what kind of restrictions there will be and are right now on traffic coming in and out of these areas?
Melissa, that's not information that I have access to from here in the air. That's something hopefully our crews on the ground will be able to get. What I've been able to tell is it doesn't look like there's too much closed as far as the main arteries go, the main highways. U.S. Highway 62 is the one you're looking at right now. Traffic has been allowed to creep through there, though you have to wonder how long it'll be if too many sightseers show up, if they will close it down. Kentucky State Highway 54 remains open. That's one of the east-west main drags. And Highway 298 is also still open, another one of the main highways moving through here. So right now, the main arteries are remaining open, but if history is a lesson to us, you have to guess that if too many sightseers start coming out, they'll be shut down because what you're looking at right now is going to be the priority. Power trucks, rescue trucks, vehicles of that sort. And you can see right there.
George, I can see right now. It looks like electrical repair equipment moving in. At last report, I think we had 3,500 residents who were powered by LG&E out of power. I would imagine there is not much power in this county right now, but it looks like they're coming to the rescue.
Yes, it certainly does, Gary. But the problem I'm certain they'll run into is one we've seen before, and that's simply the case of tracking down where the power is knocked out, in the sense of finding the right line that's broken, the right transformer that's been knocked out, that sort of thing. This will be a lengthy process. By comparison, it took a week in Owensboro before they had power restored to everyone. The damage is not as serious here, but it'll take them some time.
All right, thanks, George Sells. We're going to go to Julie Persley now.
She has been throughout this area of Grayson County and the Leitchfield area. Julie, can you tell us what you have been seeing, who you've been talking to? Julie, can you hear us?
Go, Julie.
I just heard from one of the neighborhoods that was hit pretty badly. I talked to a gentleman whose wife was inside of their mobile home when the storm hit. She didn't realize the storm was coming. She was actually in the mobile home when it was picked up by the storm and tossed on top of the mobile home that was next door to them. She was taken to the hospital by some of her friends. Apparently, she's going to be okay. She's just dazed, bruised, has some cuts and scrapes, but the family says they are glad she's okay. Apparently, the kids were still at school. They were on their way home from school. They got off their school buses to find their mobile home actually on top of another. So friends and family are showing up now to try to help those families pick up whatever they can and get it out of the area because they said they were afraid another storm could blow through. Reporting live from Grayson County, Julie Persley, WHAS 11 News.
Leitchfield is one of the main areas affected by tornadoes.
Mikhail 13.
Sean Floss is in Grayson County. He joins us live now with the latest. Sean?
Amy, the skies are trying to open up right now here, but regardless, we are submerged under a deluge of heavy rain this early evening. I'm standing live down the street from the Leitchfield Industrial Park, and behind me is a factory where they make office furniture. This is the area that was hardest hit this afternoon. There were 8 confirmed injuries total in the area. We don't know how many of those workers were hurt. The worst was a severe head injury. That worker was flown to Louisville Hospital. Now, earlier today at a press conference, we spoke with the Grayson County Sheriff, Joe Brad Hudson, who talked about plans for the future.
Now to provide security, get the phone lines back up, electric back on. I know a lot of people in the county were without electric this time. We're going to get the electric back on, get all the utilities going again, and clean the mess up.
There were 3 confirmed touchdowns of tornadoes this afternoon. One patrol officer said he saw one split in half earlier today. Now, they said it started about 6 miles west of here and stretched as far as 17 miles out to Nolan Lake in this area. Our Scott Lehman joins us live now. He was on the other side of town today, and Scott, just the devastation random.
Random is the best word to describe it, Sean. I mean, I saw buildings that were totally demolished, and then literally just hundreds of feet down the road, there were buildings that were just left unscathed. So random is definitely the best way to describe it. Now, I do have some video to show you. I was on Highway 62 called Elizabethtown Road. That's near downtown Leitchfield. Now, apparently the Wilson Dentist office did take a hit from the storm, almost completely destroyed. The Bailey Lumber Company across the street from the Wilson Dentist office, I saw the roof completely ripped off it. And we also talked to the Burkhead Repair Shop.
It broke his leg. As far as we know, we can't get to the hospital. The phone lines are down. As far as we broke his leg.
Now, that lady was from the Burkhead repair shop. Apparently, that man was injured, but as she says, he seems to be in good condition. Now, the funny thing about this, the dentists, they are twins. The Wilson brothers are twins, and it's their birthday today, so what a birthday present for them. But honestly, though, Leitchfield is very lucky that no one was killed in it was a very, very severe tornado.
Okay, Scott Lehman live here in Leitchfield. Thank you. And yes, as we know so far, 8 confirmed injuries, no fatalities to report, nothing severe. The worst, one worker here, a head injury flown to Louisville. As far as recovery efforts, they are setting up a temporary shelter at the Grayson County Middle School. About a half hour ago at that press conference, they told us there was no power, but as the sheriff said, they'll do whatever it takes. They'll get a generator running, whatever they need to do. So that is the plan so far. Scott will have more from the residential area here to find out how they're recovering with their efforts, and we'll have more of a wrap-up with the authorities here in town, who just left moments ago. Reporting live from Leitchfield for Scott Lehman, Sean Floss, News Center 13. Back to you, Amy and Jean.
And this area is obvious, just like the business that you see here behind us off of Highway 62. State emergency management officials have told us it appears that 3 tornadoes touched down in the Leitchfield area. More than a dozen people were hurt, about 35 homes were damaged, and more than a dozen businesses were damaged. State emergency management officials tell us it is a miracle no one was killed. Neighborhoods around Leitchfield look like war zones. Mobile homes ripped off of foundations, roofs torn off of houses, and trees and power lines scattered around the city. Loretta Mattingly is one of the people who rode out the storm.
I seen debris across out the window going everywhere. I thought, this is a tornado. I ran, slid down the steps, crawled in under the steps, and started praying. And it was totally dark, and I was just praying so loud, and I could hear it. I mean, I could hear things coming off the wall because it was sucking through my front door through the back.
Mattingly was in her alteration shop when the storm hit. She says she can't believe she survived.
And I was feeling, I mean, I was like, I was still alive. And I got up and came and looked out, and I thought, it's so quiet, I've got to go back. It's maybe not finished. So then I came back out, and, I mean, all this.
This is what's left of her neighbor Brian Cohn's mobile home. Cohn's family sifted through the debris as he recovered in the hospital.
He told me he was laying in his trailer, and next thing he knowed, he was out in the field, and he watched his truck, flip up.
Cohn was found in a field behind where his mobile home used to stand.
He just said he seen the light and then ground, light and ground, and then grass, and he woke up.
All I know is I come back, got dropped off from work, and didn't see my trailer.
Leonard Throne, who lives in this mobile home park a few miles away, says he came home to find his home on top of his neighbor's. His wife is now hospitalized.
He was inside the hallway when it happened. He was walking down the hallway, but she heard the wind. She didn't think nothing about no tornado.
Throne tells us he is just thankful that his children were at school. We talked to one of the teachers at the school. They said they were actually in the tornado drill position for about 45 minutes. Luckily, no one was hurt at the school. EMS and state emergency management officials told us that they will be back out into the areas tomorrow to try and assess the damage. But as you can see behind us, it is going to be a long time before Leitchfield returns to normal. Reporting live from Grayson County, Julie Persley, WHAS 11 News, night.
It's kind of something we weren't prepared for. It's unbelievable. We're just trying to do the best we can do.
From afar, the Skyline Furniture Factory looks like a giant ran right through the building. But of the more than 200 people who work here, only 6 were injured.
We're tickled to the fact that there was no lives lost. That's our main concern. Construction. But people can rebuild and go on. It was coming through town, and we had very little warning. The plant manager style line caught on to it, put all his people in the front restroom.
You always hear it sounds like a train coming through, and that's exactly what it sounded like.
And the reason there's no more injuries in that collapsed building than what there was is due to his thinking that he got them in the front restrooms and protected them, from the damage of the falling building.
Several other buildings were also damaged in the industrial park, like Bailey's Lumberyard and the Liggett Mattress Factory. But again, at both locations, no serious injuries.
Thank God. One broken arm out of all this, that's all you got. Praise the Lord for that.
I didn't think it could happen. I actually seen the damage.
They're devastating.
For the most part, homes around the industrial park were left untouched. But unlike this storm, their memories won't blow away in the wind.
Honestly, I think how lucky they are not to be dead.
Everybody's doing their part and getting the cleanup going and getting people here and fortunate to have a small town that can pull together like
Tornado had top wind of around 175
WDRB.
miles. Meteorologists examined the damage today in a 6-mile path, including the northern section of Leitchfield. They say the tornado rated in F3 on the Fujita scale with wind around 175 miles an hour. It moved along about 45 miles per hour and at one point had 3 funnels that combined into one tornado. In F5 is the strongest category of storm. The Weather Service says the roof damage supports the F3 designation because many buildings had parts of their structure remaining above the main floors. Camu will be explaining more about the storm and the Fujita scale later this news hour.
And now to Litchfield's Industrial Park. It suffered the heaviest damage when the tornado raced through the city's main employment center. 8 of 12 plants were damaged and more than 1,500 employees put out of work. Dick Irby takes us there.
At the Leitchfield Industrial Park, it was tornado cleanup at some plants and business as usual at others.
We was in the training room, and the ceiling lifted up about 6 or 8 inches and come back down, and we all got up against the walls and come back out and looked out across the road, and it looked like a bomb had went off.
While he can't forget yesterday's terror, Don Rogers was one of the lucky ones. His company, Vermont American, suffered only minor damage and went back into operation when power was restored this afternoon. Of the 8 industrial park plants damaged by the tornado, Style Line was probably hit the hardest. While the plant was shut down today, most of its 55 employees were there helping clean up.
It's like one close family. It's amazing how everybody loved one another. It was more hugs and crying ever seen.
The trauma of surviving a tornado was bad enough, but Style Line employees woke up this morning with some new worries. How long were they going to be off work? Or would this plant reopen at all?
They were moving stuff in last night, and they were going full board down there at 7 o'clock when I came back.
So workers were pleasantly surprised to find cranes, front loaders, and other heavy equipment in place and already working by early this morning.
I told my wife, I'm going to run down there to the plant and see if they can use me. If not, I'm going downtown for unemployment the next couple of days. And I got here, and they said, go home, change clothes, be back here in 15 minutes, so I was.
Lieutenant Governor Steve Henry arrived by helicopter to survey the damage and meet with county officials. Part of his mission was to assure idled workers the state will do its part to get them working again.
The concern that we have in our administration is that we don't lose any of these jobs. We want these companies to be made whole. We want them to build back and be operational in short order now.
In Litchfield, Dick Irby, Fox News.
100 homes and 15 businesses were hit by last week's tornadoes. The governor says the federal government will not declare Grayson County a federal disaster area.
Level of damage is not sufficient to precipitate a federal declaration of emergency, which occurs only when the federal government determines that the damage is so extensive that state and local governments cannot deal effectively with that.
But he plans to ask the Small Business Administration to help provide low-interest loans for local businesses with hopes of restoring more than 2,000 jobs that have been lost. Tens of dollars worth of damage.
Probably 60% of our roof was gone. The back portion of it, the walls and everything was completely blown away by the tornado. Trailers, trucks thrown around and damaged, a lot of our inventory.
More than 200 people were left without jobs. But rather than being defeated, these employees are pitching in. Anything from cleaning up the bathrooms, ripping the ceilings down to everything, they're all just pitching in and really working and getting together. Working together so well that part of the assembly line is already working again.
Fresh department's up and running today. Quickly putting the roof on now over different areas. And by next Tuesday, hopefully, we'll be in full production.
With the building damaged as badly as this, it's hard to imagine that plant managers expect it to be up and running by Tuesday. But for plant employees like Donnie, they say that's just what's expected. Like I said, you can't beat Leggett Plant. I mean, it's we're number one and we're there for a reason.
Amazing video from Tuesday's tornado in Leitchfield. These pictures were taken by the Walmart parking lot security cameras during the storm. You can easily see how dark it got just as the storm was passing by, and how it came and went in just a matter of seconds. Now, if we isolate the bottom right corner shot and show it again,
Alright guys, that's it. Alright guys, that's it. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. There is a part 2 to this because this is so long. So this is part 1 of the Leitchfield tornado from May 23rd, 2000. Next Thursday we'll be showing part 2 in Throwback Thursday. So thank you guys for watching, and subscribe, ring on notification bells. That way y'all can receive a notification whenever my new videos go up. Follow me on social media, twitch.tv/TornadoBoy200, Instagram, TornadoBoy200Gamer, and TikTok, TornadoBoy200Gamer. Thank you guys for watching, and subscribe.